Hey guys, I'm Brett. Welcome to my van. I clawed and scratched every little bit of money I could just to get that $10,000 I needed to buy this thing. I was not gonna let anything stop me. This camera I'm recording on right now, I pawned this camera to go buy this van. I got paid and I went and got it back, obviously, but he had it up for $15,000. I twisted his, what do you call them? His teats? I twisted his teats pretty hard to get him down to $9,800. So yeah, after tax and title and all that, I call it 10 grand into just the van itself. I bought this van and I couldn't even afford to transfer the title. That's how broke I was after I bought this van. Now let's start to get into the build. Okay, for the build, my van is a 2014 Ram ProMaster 1500. It is the 136-inch wheelbase. So it's a little snub nose, it's a shorty, compared to most sprinters and stuff like that. I was so ready to build this thing out, get on the road and go see and travel all the places I wanted to get to. And I bought the van and I sat there. I didn't have money to do shit. I sat and I waited for my next check to be able to start to piece together the build, just little by little. So actually the first thing I could afford to do, I think, was the flooring. I ripped out the carpets that they had in here and I put in some nice vinyl flooring. It already had a subfloor and an inch of foam. So the floor in, I was rocking. After I got caught up with my finances again and I put the floor in, I sold my old car, and so I had a little bit of money to put into the build. And so my next priority to start with was the roof. I needed to build a roof rack. I used aluminum unistrut and built my own roof rack for much cheaper than what the pre-built ones sell for. And then I put two 200-watt solar panels. These ones are by Renogy. So I got 400 watts total of solar on the roof. After that, I put my MaxxAir fan in to get some ventilation going through here. At this point, I was pretty excited. It was starting to come together a little bit. I had the roof in order. I had a way to charge batteries that I didn't have yet. With all the exterior and the roof all put together and the floor completed, the next thing I opted to do was I put in a full-size bed, side to side. I just built my own bed mount. I mounted it to the frame, to the ribs of the van using cross nuts, and I used 2x4s and a piece of plywood to build a bed frame, and I put a full-size mattress on here. Keeping with the minimalist theme, I wanted to do a sink that didn't rely on power, so I ended up building this sink that's just 2 jerry cans. One's a fresh water, one's a gray water. Nice big sink to do dishes in, and then a foot pump, or galley pump they're sometimes called, to just pump water manually, not relying on any power. So at this point I kind of had to choose. Everything I did so far was pretty much mandatory in my eyes. So now I kind of had to start to prioritize, and how I did that was I thought I need a place to sleep, to prepare food, and to work. With that in mind, my next move I opted to do was a butcher block countertop on the last open wall behind the driver's seat. And that was gonna be my workspace and my spot to prepare food and stuff like that. Okay, workspace is in. I'm getting real excited. I'm like, I can go for an outing. I can go hang out for a weekend in this thing. So I bought some magnetic window covers for the rear doors. And then I bought a shower curtain to cover the driving area. So I had my privacy, and I went and got on the road and started spending some nights in it. And oh man, that first night was kind of weird. I mean, you're in the shell of a cargo van and there's nothing. And but I was excited. It was a different feeling. It's taken some getting used to. Right around this time, I had an aunt who went on vacation to Europe. And so I was house sitting for her for about a month. And while I was there, I was planning out my build, and the Blue Eddy AC200 Max goes on sale for like 1,200 bucks. And I was like, bam, bam. Like I had saved that money. I was planning to add some little build stuff, and then boom, broke again. Just sank every dime back into the build. Yeah, ow. Like, this is a theme in my life you're about to discover for the last year. Like, everything goes into it. But I've got my home, and I'm happy with it. So this is the last time I really consider the van to be totally minimalist. After this, I started to add on more quality of life and convenience things. So I did live in the van like that for a good amount of time. But after that, going out a couple times during the summer with friends and having to buy ice and dealing with coolers and stuff, I did end up, I think my next purchase was the IceCo 12 volt refrigerator, chest style fridge. I was happy to have that thing. That, I mean, game changer, to be able to actually go overland and go boondock and bring food with you and not have to worry about it going bad. The one downside I still had at that point traveling was I was eating out quite a bit. I did have a propane camping grill, but it was a pain to bring out and set up my flip-up table and put out the grill and then turn the propane on. And what I opted to do for that was an induction cooktop. So I cut into my butcher block countertop and I popped in an induction cooktop. It's a nice flat surface, so I mean, you can, it doubles as surface space as well. But that thing is, if you've never owned one of these, I mean, it boils water in like a minute, less than a minute. I mean, it's very efficient. I don't think I've ever used 5% of my battery cooking a meal on my induction cooktop. I would never use anything else. What I decided I needed after that was I started to add more baskets and shelves and organizers. Right away I had everything in like the storage totes, just like 2 storage totes, and just piled everything in those 2 storage totes. And yeah, I couldn't find anything. It was just the pit of misery trying to dig through that stuff. So I started to get a little more organized, figuring out what I needed and what worked for me. So the first real destination that I went and like did the van life thing at was Minnesota's North Shore. And I plan to do a future video on that whole drive. It's like a 4-hour drive along the North Shore of Lake Superior. And so that is a video that I'm very excited for. That I'll probably do this coming summer. All right, we're starting to push into the fall now, and it's getting cold. I'm headed out of Minnesota. I'm headed for warmer weather, and it's getting cold overnight. Like I was considering propane to keep the heat, but I didn't have insulation in here either. So, I mean, it wouldn't be really efficient to heat it with propane. So I opted for a electric mattress pad, and I decided that since I have the electric mattress pad and the induction cooktop, so I've got Starlink pulling a decent amount of battery, that I need to get an expansion battery. So again, bank account goes up and we're buying the Blue Eddy B300K. Yeah, but now I've got a battery and I can sleep warm, so things are good. Things are just fine. So as I made my way down through Colorado and then on to Texas, I've just been doing my thing. I was working remote for a while up until the end of 2024, and then not doing that anymore. I think that's kind of what this YouTube channel is about too. Like, I have free time to be able to ramp up the content and really enjoy my traveling. And so I was a little bit of a glutton for a while where I was just like, oh, I'm just existing every day to like eat and go see cool bucket list destinations. And, that just, it got old to me pretty quick. Don't get me wrong, like I'm grateful to be able to do it. But like, I wanted to be creating some value for people other than myself. So yeah, since then I've made my way out into the desert here in Arizona, kind of hanging out where the weather's warm. And yeah, I think I'm going to continue to ramp up this travel content and the van life content, and I'll continue to build out my build. I hope you guys enjoyed the build video. I think travel has opened up my world internally and externally. Like I'm seeing the world through a new lens for sure. And I plan to continue to do it and make videos about it and keep building on my van. So if you're interested in following my journey, feel free to follow, and see you in the next one.